Deep state neocon warmonger John Bolton announces 2024 White House run against President Trump. You know, John Bolton had never seen a war he didn't like. I mean, this guy is always in the mix, always talking about bombing someone. Can't stand this guy. And he has the audacity to run for president. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have I Will Not Comply t-shirts. So check that out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton says he will run for the Republican presidential nomination, according to Good Morning Britain. I don't know why Good Morning Britain would get the scoop before us, but that's a whole nother thing there. I'm not even gonna get into that. But quote, Donald Trump's former National Security Advisor John Bolton has told us that he will run for U.S. president in a bid to stop his former boss from getting the nomination, the British television show tweeted Friday morning. In a report introducing a Friday interview with Bolton, the show said, quote, John Bolton has exclusively told Good Morning Britain he wants to become the next president of the United States. And I was saying, I was screaming from the mountaintops when Trump put him in as his his national security advisor. I was like, why would he have this guy, this warmonger, in his office? I mean, we all know how sick this guy is. We know he's the one that brought us the all the wars that we've been in recent memory. John Bolton has been a part of it. I'm talking Iraq War. I'm talking all that stuff. This guy never seen a war he didn't like, and he had no business being in Trump's administration. When it comes to his administration, Trump's advisors and stuff were some of the same old neocons that we've seen in government that push some of the stuff that we are totally against. But in the video clip tweeted by the show, Bolton is asked by Good Morning Britain what a John Bolton America would look like if he was commander in chief. He said, quote, I would get in to win the nomination, he said, and I would do it primarily on the basis that we need a much stronger foreign policy. And I think it is important that it is understood, not just in Moscow, but it is understood in places like Beijing, that unprovoked aggression against your neighbors is not something the United States and its allies would tolerate. What do you mean unprovoked against aggression against their neighbors? That has nothing to do with the United States. Again, here he goes pushing war before he even before he pushing war and conflict before he even gets anywhere near the presidential seat. I mean, this guy is despicable. Commenting on Trump's influence in the Republican Party, Bolton said, quote, I think Trump's support within the party itself is in terminal decline. Ask what he would say to critics who would point to his inexperience for the job. Bolton added, well, I would run as a vanity candidate. If I didn't think I could run seriously, then I wouldn't get in the race. Bolton said during a televised interview Sunday he, quote, is prepared to get into the race for president in 2024 to stop his former boss. Quote, I think to be a presidential candidate, you can't simply say I support the Constitution. You have to say I would oppose people who would undercut it, Bolton told NBC Meet the Press on Sunday. We used to have a thing in the House of Representatives called the House Un-American Affairs Committee. I think when you challenge the Constitution itself the way Trump himself has done, this is un-American. I'm prepared to get in the race. So how did he challenge the Constitution? What did Trump do that was unconstitutional? See, they just make these blatant statements without backing it up or pointing to anything in particular. They're just making stuff up. Y'all know I'm a staunch constitutionalist. I believe in the Constitution and everything in it. And I would be the first one to call out Trump if he done or said anything anti-constitutional. And nothing comes to mind when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to Joe Biden, I can name tons of stuff that he's done that's against the Constitution, like the open border policies that he have, and I mean I can name tons of stuff, but when it comes to Trump, I can't. Nothing comes to mind. They just making stuff up. Bolton served as one of Trump's national security advisors from 2018 to 2019 before being fired. And again, he shouldn't have never been in there in the first place. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.